100% evil rake. Don't know what that means, but pack value is a wash. There's no value of these cards. Unlike with paper cards where you potentially have a secondary market to resell them to or other players or that kind of thing, you can never get value back from the cards you built into this client. They have zero resale value. They're just essentially like any other game. It's like if I gave you $1 million in another game, you're playing like, who the fuck knows? I'll just pick a game from you're playing Star Sector, and a little pop-up shows up on the side of your screen that says plus $1 million. And you look around and there's no like $1 million. Your bank account still is the exact same number it was before. Nothing has changed in the game itself. You just now have $1 million game dollars that aren't even the currency that they use in the game. That's all that's happened from us getting cards here. So it's essentially a worthless thing. So no, it's not really a wash. You don't even get currency. You get well, that's true. You get a small amount of gems for drafting cards that you already own 4 of. That's correct. I think that's still happening. Is that even still happening? They might have converted that into Vault Progress. No, it's not gold we're talking about, Professor Pessimist. Unless that's what the initial comment was that I misread. No, he says because pack value, right? Like, this was the comment I was responding to. And I assumed he meant pack value in the sense of maybe as in each pack has a value that would cost you in gems to buy, right? I assume is what he's saying. So apparently we've made enough packs to break even for that. But my point is those packs have no value at all. Yeah, that's right. The gold is fine. The gold is just another currency to play the game with. So it's essentially, you know, it has an equivalency to gems at some rate. Raking gambling's what the house keeps. That's the. Is that what it definitionally is? It might very well be. Squee versus Maru. Squee's better than Maru. Don't pass any good cards except for the Maru and the Geyser. It's pretty close between Squee and Maru, honestly. Squee hasn't done anything for me, but she's very, very good in the red wide decks. Packs have a value in standard and historic. It's very low value, right? Because it's essentially just worse than a wild card. Actually, this card surprisingly good in red white. Goes really well with our first card too. Not with any direct synergies, but because that color combination. I think it's better than a Citizen's Arrest if we're already planning to play red. Although I hate passing that Citizen's Arrest, and the Baird might Wart Wheel. I don't know. This card has been medium for me. Like sometimes it just takes over the game, and a lot of times it's pretty bad. We have to kind of really prioritize Enlist to go from here. Game forcing Filthy to aggro. I'm happy to aggro if I get good cards for it. What I don't like about aggro. Wow, that card is actually pretty solid in best of 3. It's not solid with the cards we've started with though. And there's a Lightning Strike, which is premium for our deck. If the Lightning Strike wasn't here, I would pick that card here. But it makes you wonder what the hell has been picked out of this pack. 2 uncommons have gone ahead of the Lightning Strike and ahead of the Silix, which I think is fine. Cavalier for evasive white damage dealer. I think better than Kavu. A little bit close maybe. Kavu has synergies with Baird, but I don't think we're going out of our way to draft a Kavu quite yet. Anyways, what I was trying to say about Strike Teen Herbalist Blast lands. This is Enlist Payoff. We already have Enlist Payoff. This is just wide again. I think I take Strike Team. I'm a little interested in Cult Conscript as just like a speculation, but we look pretty white-red already. It's an Outrider on 5, our second strike team. This card's less good in this deck than it is in most of our other decks. It's also an Axe, which is pretty good for this guy. I think I'll take first Outrider and see. Electrostatic Infantry is a pretty powerful card in a different color combination. Depends how many tricks we end up with. I need Enlist. There's Enlist on the War Brute and Enlist on the Steel Crusher. This card is excellent, but it's not excellent for red-white not playing a bunch of spells. Is this Steel Crusher for just the Enlist keyword? I think it might be. Rulik Mons is pretty sweet. Red-white duel, Enthralled of the Pit. Pretty far away from playing that. Although we only have 2 white cards, there's a universe in which we play this. It would be Green Mythic next pack. It's also a white-black duel for splashing and white-red duel for consistency. I like Rulik Mons, but I think I'd rather just take the white-red duel here. We have a very clear game plan with this deck thus far. It's amass Enlist terms. Heirloom okay in this deck. Kabu probably just fine. Monstrosity. Okay. Infantry's too good. Depends what you're doing, right? So what I don't like about the aggro decks is their lack of consistency. If you do not draw well, so like even a small flood is often too much for the deck to deal with. If you draw your tricks versus your gas versus your removal in the wrong order, you can get fucked. If you stumble a little bit on land, you can't put out the pressure to win. I find I like decks that have some ability to play around Magic's RNG, and the pure honest aggro decks don't tend to be those. Decks that require you curve out, require that you draw the appropriate number at the appropriate time, and that's all Magic decks to a point, but some decks are just better at dealing with, especially floods. Another Kavu versus a Spinner. I think another Kavu is fine. Meteorite versus Grotto. All right, take first Grotto. Don't really want to play either. So the red was fine. This is a lot of commons. The commons are all decent. They play nicely with their rare. We're not committed to white. The Baird was up against Citizen's Arrest. After this pack, I'd rather have had Citizen's Arrest, all things equal, but still. So this Braids in black. It's a little tempting. This would have been the payoff for taking some of the other cards. There was 2 of the Enthralled of the Pits, but I think this is just Skyrider, then into Sky Knight later. This card's interesting. I'd love to play with it. I haven't drafted it yet, or if I have drafted it, I've never used it more than about one time kind of deal. But these cards are quite good. This card is fine too. Just don't think it's there yet. This card hasn't done anything for me yet. Take Up the Shield's been an excellent trick. Fires of Victory is pretty sweet too. Maybe worse in this deck. We need removal. There's no other red cards, right? It's Fire NATO and the red-green guy who requires more Enlist. So between Fires and Take Up the Shield. Man. It's close. Red removal for 1 is too good to pass here. Fires always seems good. It tends to be a lot of 3 mana or 5 mana kill a thing, draw a card, which is pretty good. But I don't have any sources of blue mana here. And if I'm just looking for, like, do I really wish to 2-for-1 myself? Like the Fires is setting up for 2-for-1, or maybe it's removal. But if it's I don't know. I like the racing. I like the life gain counter portion and racing element of Take Up the Shield. Not sure. This card tends to be very good for the wide decks. Nice to see a bit of white coming back this way. Make this deck actually 2-colored as opposed to red splashing some white cards. This card was really good versus me. We played a guy who had 3 of these yesterday. Or not yesterday, Sunday, I guess. It was essentially removal. Removal on a 2/2 flyer for them. So this is ideally a 4-drop. Let's take a look. Another Monstrosity, another Steel Crusher, and an Amplifier. This is all pretty far away from us. Black Removal. Ugh, feels bad to not have that. Is this third Steel Crusher for Enlist? Or is this second Monstrosity? I think it's second. I think it's third Steel Crusher. Watch, this will be the only, I mean, do you remember even last draft, we had one of the Inspiring Charges just sitting in our sideboard. I think we'll get one this time because this deck really wants it. Don't have a lot of token generation yet, I suppose. At the moment it's just like okay red creatures. I guess Squee and Baird do some degree of token generation. That had been another one of the Argivian Phalanxes as opposed to Monstrosity, I definitely would have picked up a second one of these. This card is so busted when you play it down as like the 5th card. Ooh, that's a decision. So cheap Enlist creature, but we've got a bunch of 2/2s. A Fires here. We have very light removal and a second Outrider. I think the second Outrider less good in this deck with only planning to run 2 land types right now. This card has been kind of bad for me. So let's grab Fires. Looks like, well, I keep saying blue-red would be open, or rather, it looks like red and Spells Matter together is kind of open, but we've only seen the one red payoff, and we haven't really seen much in the way of blue. The other color that seems open to me has been black. We've been past a couple of nice black cards. It's a black-white duel. It doesn't trigger domain, so it's really bad for us. Up against the Enthralled of the Pit. First Enthrall is actually okay for a deck like this. Amplifier wants blue. I hate everyone who's passed this geyser around. We're not playing any of these cards. Are we playing one Hammer Hand ever? Maybe. Really good black cards. Well, that's a very good black card. It's a little slow. And this card is a fine black card, both pretty late in the pack. Let's keep cutting red. That's a late Bone Splinters for the black-red Sacrifice Synergy deck is still available there. Egg versus Librarian. This is definitely an egg deck. A chick deck. Phoenix chick deck. All right, white, black, rare, black uncommon, blue, blue uncommons. Ugh. There's our charge if we want it. What's it up against? A Lightning Strike and a Protector. I can't take first charge over second Lightning Strike. I can maybe take it over the Protector, but that Lightning Strike is the pick there. I think Chick's actually pretty good in this deck. All right, where are my white and red cards? We've got a black-white dual land, Destroy Evil, and a second Outrider. That's pretty decent removal in best of 3. Outriders are very good though. It's tough to tell if they're good enough in this deck. I don't want to have a billion Outriders in this deck. Another Skyrider seems great up against Cavalier and Lightning Strike. Oh. Do we want second Skyrider over third Lightning Strike? I think we just want third Lightning Strike, don't we? Hope to wield a bird. White-green dual land versus another white or red removal. If I'd known this infusion was coming, would I have dropped the Lightning Strike? Maybe. Skyrider has been good for my opponents. We're pretty low curved right now. This is like, if we cut Monstrosity, can get this curve super low and run less lands. Cavalier is fine. Aaron actually not bad for us, but we don't have any sources of black mana. This card is amazing. Here we can finally take the flyer. Again, it's really too bad we didn't have sources of black mana that we can realistically play. I think Strike Team's okay, but I don't love Strike Team. And the bird's pretty good for what we're doing. So if we don't play these, this is 22 right now. Yeah, it looks like red-black was pretty open. I don't know if we're playing a Thrill of Possibility yet. We'll see. It's the heroic charge we wanted. Up against second Destroy Evil. Okay. Goblin Picker for board stall. Outrider Wield. Okay. See, Zach. It's Phyrexian Rager last pick here. All right, well, our flyer didn't wheel either, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know how this deck ended up. I mean, pick 2 was Baird versus Citizen's Arrest. I think we don't play fires here. It's probably no pickers. Definitely going down a land. Lander seems reasonable for this deck. That's the curve, huh? So 3 enlist 2s, take up the shield, lightning strikes, and a recruiter for 4. Double infusion's kind of a lot here. I think one of these pickers plays as well as flood protection. Could also run Thrill, I guess, instead. This card tends to be okay. Two Outriders really what we want in this deck. Maybe. Maybe we should be playing fires too. Does fires go face? Creature Planeswalker. I think this card sometimes is dead for us. All right, let's try this. Vanilla Sleeper is excellent in a white-black token synergy deck. It's pretty bad in just a white deck. I mean, it is a 3-1, I guess, but 3-1 with no ability for its upside is pretty low value. Excuse me. Okay. It doesn't matter what I do. This is always my hand. It's always 5 lands. Can we get rid of our 3rd land? I can't remember if we're on the player on the draw right now. Do I know? I don't necessarily disagree that mulligans punish you super hard, Prof Pessimist, but the downside, again, of making mulligans cheaper is the consistency of combo or aggro decks, right? Enemy went first. I think they mulled 1, right? Okay, here a land would have been good. bummer. I was hoping for the continued pressure. Oh no, not like this. Maybe I should have gone for the take up shield play there instead. I was actually kind of expecting him not to block with the 2-2. Our opponent is playing white-red aggro with green cards in there and doing it better than we are. You can't make this up, right? Like drawing the 5 drops before drawing the lands. I've got 2 5 drops in the deck in its entirety. That's literally the end of the curve here. And we have 16 total lands. I believe. The fucking pause here. The worst part is we put our 3rd land on the bottom, but we have 16 of them. Did we really have to keep that in an aggro deck going second? It's very unreasonable. It's an oddly specific counter to us too, isn't it? See your whole hand and tax you. Dude, I can't. This is 16. I only went to 16 fucking lands. This is absolutely ridiculous right now. Dude, that must be nice, opponent. Okay. I guess we've drawn 15 cards in our deck, and we've seen 2. That doesn't even count the one at the bottom. So this is 15 deep into the deck with 16 lands. We've drawn 2 lands. Anyone want to run the calculator for the odds of that? This is the one that generates dragons for him if I block. Nice. -1 game. So that was 5-lander mulligan into much better playable hand where we go down to 2 lands and never draw a 3rd land ever again. So ridiculous, man. He's got a bunch of 3. I mean, okay. Just so stupid. Like, if we were playing like 14 lands, I might be like, that's reasonable, but we weren't. We're playing a very reasonable 16. Okay. Has a 1. a really nice draw here. Can be tail strike again. I'd love to get the takeout shield value. But I think it's just get our 4/4 out now. It is. Oh, it's Gaia's Might. Okay. Couldn't really beat that anyways. I mean, Take Up Shield kind of beats it, but not really. So awkward with the 3 drops. Nothing else. Is this the worst kick of a Banalish Sleeper you've ever seen? I sacrifice my recurring threat. That has less power than your existing one. So you have the same number of blockers, and next turn you could have just played this turn and gotten 2 more blockers. Okay, sure. Decline. Okay. Still only had lands from our opening hand there. Going second now. Dragon's a 5/5 in that first game we saw, right? Picker looks pretty bad, but okay. All right, we're missing our 2s, which is kind of a bummer. We have all of our 3s. Dude, taking turn 2 off here feels pretty bad. Surprised by the block on a Mana Dork for him, but fine with it. Apparently just has all of his colors naturally. White, red, green, black on 4. Okay. Not real happy about playing into removal with this, but it's 2 mana inefficient to do anything else, so we just actually just pass with 4 mana and a pause. So the pause is a positive combat trick, I guess? So he's going to eat my bird this turn. Drew another land. Definitely eats the bird. I don't think there's anything I can do about that, particularly. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I guess the counter's kind of annoying. Yeah, we know you have that because you could have done that last turn. Spider's gonna solo me at this rate, though. Do I want to trade off Kavu for 1/1s? I don't think so. Opponent goes wider than I go. Sure. It's just my end step. Dude, enough. 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 Okay. He's got a million blockers. I guess it's just a pure power subtraction, huh? So this is 2 to everything with 1 there. So this is 5, 9. I can't kick it though. So until I can kick it, it's useless because I need to trample off that. It's a very specific counter to my shit, huh? No, it's not based on, it's someone has better stats than they normally have. That's how it works. So with this counter there, I don't have to pay mana anymore, but he has this versus me after all the games we've played. Really? Okay. How many in graveyard now? 3. How much wider do we need to go? 5, 6, 7 blockers. I need to get there. I think it's next turn. Could have lightninged him this turn and got the Squee back. That's what I should have done. I should have lightning struck the creature, pumped and played Squee, just not attacking. Just set up for the heroic charge next turn. Okay. Actually got our generation off Baird there. All right, game 1 to us. That spider almost beat us. It stops so much damage. All right, I mean, this is a good hand for us. Mulligan from opponent too. This is the flyer, I guess. No pause for counter. Enlist does work with Baird, although the enlist creature has to survive to your end step, which seems unlikely. No attacks with the fucking flyer is weird, isn't it? Currently one match. We're 1-0 matches right now. Why wouldn't he enlist here? I've never seen this card resolved. So I choose 2, and the 2 that are chosen gets shuffled into the library. Okay. So awkward, the number of creatures here. All right, so my turn is Baird pass. Rip. Awkward numbers again. Could attack with Baird, get the permanent pump on take up shield. Start generating 1/1s. Could just run out 4 damage nuke. Or 2 damage nuke, I guess. So you can make this thing have 4 power. Do I care? I don't think so. So it's Outrider. Blocks are so bad for me, the 1/3 and the 1/1 on Baird. Because you can also make a 4/3 Vigilant attacker there. I think the Vigilant attacker's got to be better than that. Sadly, the mana doesn't work out yet again. I guess those two together do. Open mana. Don't think I care. I guess just those two get in for 2 again. Is this game 1? It is. Still can't generate a 1/1. I think this is a good enough heroic charge. Is it better than take up the shield? I think it is. Okay. What's the symbol? Vigilance is the symbol. All right, we saw a lot of 1/1s from opponent. Did I see anything else? 1/3s, 3/2s, kind of low quality cards in general. 1 flyer. There's probably stuff in there with 4 more toughness, but we haven't seen it yet. I think I'm okay to just run it back as is right now. Going second. Can we wait on red mana? I doubt it. Exact same hand with red mana? Sure. run out both tricks. To get that Steel Crusher to a 3/3. Kill both his creatures. I really don't care about that 1/3, but it's an annoying blocker. I feel like we're probably going to want to attack again. Could also just make it a 3/2 and swing. He may not wish to trade his Root Waller for it. I'm not sure. Prevents 1 damage that way. I think it's too bad to just not develop it all again here. Get some interesting things to do with the Kavu plus Steel Crusher plays too. It's not any... The thing is, Professor Pessimist, like you just don't play enough. You don't play enough games of Magic to realize quite how big of a problem it is until you play Arena. Arena is just a faster pace of play, right? From the benefit of your own home, the privacy of your own home, you can yell loudly enough that the neighbors hear you through the windows upstairs. Fucking Planeswalker. All right, what's it do?
Come join us. Perfect harmony.
Gives him a creature. How do I back up? Can I undeclare, cancel attacks? How do I cancel? Okay. You. How do I cancel? Okay. Choose attackers. There. There. 2 attacks. You enlist that. And you get bigger here. Okay. All right.
In the end, there will only be Phyrexia.
I don't like the open mana again. Actually can get got this way. He has the domain trigger right now, the one that does damage based on the number of things. Oh, he doesn't have it, and he didn't like that play. Okay. He just thought I was attacking into first strike with no trick when he made the block, and just assumed that I would not know it had first strike, I guess. All right. Maybe he had a pump spell that didn't survive that. I mean, it only has 4 power, so even his, I guess, +2/+2 there was only a 4/4 and wasn't good enough either. Okay. Enlist doing work as per normal. It's a powerful keyword, man. I like, you kind of need the better enlist creatures though. We passed that red Berserker, was a pretty decent enlist creature, and we didn't see any of the white Cavalier, the 3 mana 2/2 that generates a 1/1 that has enlist. That one's really good as well. I assume you're talking about the in in-person Magic. Makes those 3/1s have extra value. Sure. It only takes power is correct. Are there any first strike? Did that component just concede? Draw? Okay. Are there any first striking endless creatures in this format? Like even at like rare? Okay. Got a curve. Too many lands as well, but we have a curve. There are none. Okay. I guess they decided first strike and list was too good. It's pretty much a hard counter to us, huh? Easiest no blocks of my life with that goblin. Wish we could stop flooding a little bit. Alright, Electric Dog is making a whole fucking lot of noise over there. Oh, she'd shut up and stop distracting me. I'm all for aesthetics for aesthetics. I'm not okay for aesthetics that do things to your opponent. Imagine if you could pay to win for a fucking thing that just distracted your opponent. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, huh? Can't really do anything about that. That goblin was going to do massive damage to us with this hand, no matter how we looked at it. Binned another wall. So this is probably a mill wall over here. And we're flooded. That sucks. Dude, between the whining and the shocking, it's just like a perpetual attention get. Stop. I considered 2-for-1ing myself against that wall. We're now more lands than playables by like 4, 3. What are we at? 7 lands, 4 playables. 5 playables. Did he just miss on defenders? He plays 4 defenders. They're both spell walls, barricade, and sentinel, but no chaplain and no mill wall. Why are there fucking 4 defenders in your deck, mate? Really good one to draw right now. Dude, this guy is so clear that he doesn't want me to, like, he wants me to flood, that he's willing to remove the goblin over the chick doing damage to him. Okay. He's like, you're flooding, you will flood. Enjoy your life. It's a good one. It's not very useful at this exact moment in time, but... getting so much value off this fucking barricade because I don't have any pressure. So I don't have any cards. So many cards that don't do anything in this deck. Blue mana was not left open, so he doesn't have the card that defends this. This card actually doesn't look very good versus him. We've only seen 1 target for it thus far, and it was the goblin that makes my other shit die. Oh, he's kicking his draw card that he gets to do because I have 0 pressure. He hasn't done anything for 100 turns. It doesn't matter. It's kind of annoying. And he still gets to play the game. Feels bad. And he plays double discard in here. All right. Shut up, dog. Choking miasma. Okay. Main deck of course. Best of 3. How many to get it back? Attack with 3 others, right? It's like it never basically comes back. 3 or more creatures. Okay. So we're on the mill plan, I guess. Oh, another problem here. He's got 12 cards left in deck. It's a good one for us. Or it would have been, we can get the chick back, right? Too bad this thing doesn't fucking trample. I mean, he eats the 3/1. And he eats my 5/6. But it was a good top deck still. No, he's got more removal for the chick. Feels bad. Yeah. Okay, now we know why he's playing black and blue. It's the only non-common card we've seen in this deck besides Miasma. Dude, he's still gonna get me because I drew another Plains? Are you fucking kidding me? He gets a fucking flyer out of this shit. That's so infuriating in this position. Okay. Okay. Can't block the flyer at least, but it's a turn timer that wasn't there before. Dude, his deck is not very resilient to his own sweepers. Wow, the combos. His deck is awful. He gets to win this because we flooded. I think he probably kills us before our mill happens, but we'll see. He keeps drawing, so maybe not. I mean, he's got 6 cards left. Is this an entire offensive force that he has? Wait, who discarded a card? Oh, he discarded a card, I see. Five turns is a lot of turns to survive this, though, when he's got 3 cards in hand and card selection. His plan is probably to kill me. He's got 5 damage in the air. It's 3 attacks. I know I currently have a reach creature that I just top deck off my library, top of my library, but it's still pretty fucking bad. All of his removal, he had the 1 Bone Splinters, which he got comboed with his Goblin, and 2 Tributes and a Smoke Choking Miasma. 3 Tributes? 1, 2, 3 Tributes. Okay. I mean, what's his general deck plan? I don't know. Deck looks kind of medium to me. Could be more rares in there. We don't know yet. We haven't seen what the green mana is yet. 5, 9, 6, 2. I think this works. Can't leave it in hand, right? This doesn't go face, right? Oh, it is. Number of targets. Nice. When are they considered not attacking creatures anymore? I have till the end of combat, right? It's not lethal either. You can sack creatures. I can't put a stop midway through combat, I don't think. I don't even really want him declaring blockers first, do I? You can only block with the flying Drake here. Maybe he won't block it. I think I actually killed 2-3 here. Okay, so if I hit him in the face, he takes 4, but he immediately sacks creatures to the barricade, right? It's not kill him. He has life gain at instant speed showing on the board with mana open. So killing him isn't a thing. Now, we've got 1 damage going through. So he has to gain, if we hit him for 4, he has to gain 2 life to go to 6, right? If we kill the 2/3, we keep our Phoenix around. Currently, we only have 1, 2. We have 3 attackers next turn 2, though, if he has no removal to get Chick back again. But I mean, he's got an infinite supply of these 1/1s that can't block to gain life. I don't even think this is better. I think killing the Drake is better. In which case, we're going to do that, which we guess we could have done this pre-combat and gotten in for 2 more damage. I think this was a mistake. I think we should have killed Drake to begin with, not waited to see. Okay. I could kill the wall, but the Drake is more threatening. We have a flying attacker that's currently unchallenged. Opponent's low on cards. And we just dealt with some of the power on the board, right? He can't block either of these air creatures right now. Oh, he's deciding to kill himself, sure. Second main deck Pilfer. Draws again. I like it. Okay. All right. I think we did it the wrong target with that. I think we should have killed the Drake beforehand. But I got a little bamboozled by thinking through chat lethal there. Maybe damage to face was fine too, because he has to gain so much life and draw so many cards. But all right. So I think it's out 1 Steel Crusher, in 1 Picker to deal with floods. And sitting behind these walls. Destroy Evil seems to have plenty of targets versus him. I wonder about Enthralled of the Pit. Flyers seem pretty good versus him. Is it down 1 more Steel Crusher? It might be. Yeah, it's okay to engage with the game chat. Just chat loves to do this thing where if I miss lethal, it's, oh my god, filthy miss lethal, but they shout out every lethal they see even when they're not really lethals. In which case it's like, okay, you can't have it both ways. You can't be knocking me points every time that I miss it, but plus points for yourselves when you call out poor, like ones that don't work. Anyway, you're good. It's not a problem. It's just amusing. All right, is the chicken any good on the draw? I mean, we didn't see a lot of flyers, so it's probably actually fine. We did a lot of damage to that thing over time. All right. His deck's pretty bad, yeah. We can chat. It's multiple personality disorder. Yeah, for sure. There's multiple people in chat. Yeah. Or flooded again. Dude, I remember we were considering taking out one of these infusions. Certainly getting them both in our opening hand is not amazing. Yes, I know. Your hand destruction shit, which is absolute garbage, is going to pay off from drawing it early. Nice. This is so fucking unpleasant, too. Lightning Strike would have been really nice versus that Drake, I gotta say. His deck has a really finite number of threats. I think this is close to our opponent's perfect curve out. Us too. We're curving out perfectly as well. Okay, new card from him. He did not play last game. Double infusion his wall? Fuck no. Do you see any value in my hand? I've got 7 dead cards in my hand right now. I'm not infusioning his wall. It's so bad that I have to play around this. He pumps 3 times, right? Okay. Still 2 for 1ing myself, huh? It's really too bad. I'm actually 3 for 1ing myself? Am I really? Oh, that block might have been not good enough. Definitely did not think I'd be 3 for 1ing myself there. Fuck. That's what I need to be doing when I'm low value, right? Does it have a scry on it? It does not. I had other thoughts in mind when I made him do that. Probably should have been destroy too in case his last turn is his last fucking card is the discard dork. Okay. Yeah, it was a bad block. Thought I could get 2 for 1 there and maybe even get blowout value, but this didn't. The block didn't force him to take the pump. Probably what I needed to do was pre-combat. I needed to, like, right as he declares attackers, shrink it and get him to pump it enough so the block doesn't do anything, and then I can blow him up, and then I don't lose my blocker, which is probably the play I wanted to do there instead of the fucking play I did, which was resolve damage. Because then it's a 2 for 1, get rid of it, keep my flyer in the air, could pressure back a little bit, and I keep one of the infusions. Yeah, that's what I did, Moonface Color, but the problem is I had to infusion as part of the combat step. Preferably right before the attack. Or right as he declared it. Yep, definitely a punt. There's his last card being a card that causes problems. Why is he counting my cards in the graveyard? He wants me to look at the infusions that I wasted? I'm not even sure. It's not even sacrifice another creature. Definitely thought it was sacrifice another creature. I'm learning all sorts of hard things right now, which is fucking great for me. I think I can win despite this garbage too, but we'll see. Dude, the Geyser into Raven Man with 7 mana is actually really brutal. Yeah, I really needed my last card that I wasted on that block, sadly. Only does 2 damage. Okay. So it's 6 to kick. I've got 7. Can't really bait the discard J-Rift. I only get the value when attacking. So if he just main phases pre-combat, makes me discard, then I have to cast it as a flyer. And it's great that it's a 2/2 flyer, but I don't get the kill off the creature. All of my abilities to deal with the Connoisseur are Lightning Strike, right? Of which I have exactly 1 copy left in deck. 2 copies left in deck. Feels kind of bad to pump this Senga right now. Okay. But I'm in a bit of a tough spot right now. His deck is so fucking bad, but this is lined up well with the discard spell, seeing my slow and clunky hand. We haven't seen any of his 3 shrink spells yet either, which is kind of scary. He just drew 4 cards that turn. So it's pretty likely we're going to see one. It's just -2/-2 right now, but that's still something. The wall nicely handles the 4/4. That's 6 damage in the air. I think we lose this round. Go to 3, hope we actually get a curve. Didn't draw his removal. Plains does not get us there. Even with 1 chump there, we take 3, so we're dead. Don't think there's a point in showing anything right now. Give him a chance to die, but there's no way he dies here. I mean, technically he's dead to fucking heroic charge here, but... Alright, he takes 6. GG. Okay. Alright, we'd like our lightning strikes to connect with his vampires. We have 3 of them. It seems reasonable to expect that. We have the Destroy Evil for the vampire as well. I don't think we want Fire Nados. I think his ground game is kind of annoying. So 2 things there. I learned the wall could sack itself. I thought it was other creatures, and we got blown the fuck up by me misblocking there. I mean, charge might not even be that great versus him with the amount of discard. But we still haven't really had a game that fits our plan, as in actually curbing out and doing things. I think this is just, again, maybe -1 infusion, maybe not. He's got the 2/2 flyer, the 2/1 Raven Man. Even with the 2/3 Drakes, it's okay for the 1/1 tokens. I think we keep deck as is and try to make better blocks than that. I cannot keep a hand that has like. Okay, we have 2 5-drops in the deck. They're They've showed up in every single opening hand, and we've got a 5-lander again. Is this a mull going first or a keep? This looks awful. Now we have no red mana. I mean, it hurts so much. Okay. That's the difference between going 3-0 for the match and going 2-1. I guess that block was the difference between our entire run. I'm not sure we won with that block, but we probably came closer to winning than we did here. Can I play the game from here? Maybe. All right, turn 4, going second. We deploy Kabu. We're going first. Turn 4, going second. We're down a land, down 2 creatures, down 2 cards. I guess if you count the land, it's only down 1 card. All right, I'm sure our curve out deck will generate value through the course of this game. Well, the 5-landers are brutal. I rarely mulligan them because it's so painful when you do. It's a weird one. Has the indestructible trick with Death Touch. It's also new since last game. This is the -2/-2, I guess. Into another flyer. It almost looks like he's playing in like an aggro curve out deck right now because we haven't done anything in so fucking long. The fuck is One Island Pause? The untap trick is in there now as well. Guess so. Try some scammy shit. Just snap block it, then hit no blocks. There's some scammy shit. We're going to be doing that again. Dude, another apparition. Where were all these cards in game 1 through 3? All right, so now we've gone from Screw into Flood. We are now 3, 6, 7 lands and 6 playables after starting with 2 lands and not getting our lands in order enough to play them. It hurts so much right now. It's got to be another blocker, I guess. We're not getting any pressure on him, and these flyers are a huge issue. I think this is a free roll attack for him. If he has another one of those tributes in hand, it doesn't matter what happens here. Still beats the untap trick right now. Certainly good. The Cabo attack even good? Yeah, I guess it is. As good as it gets with our hand right now. Sure. Thought about attacking. I think we have 13, right? It's 2 on the Kabu for 9 plus another 4 for 13. I get another chance to respond if he plays tricks. So for the moment, we're going to go like that and do +1. I'm okay with that. I'd actually prefer to think a no block from him, but I guess trading for the flyer is okay. He's still got 5 cards in hand. Oh, fuck. Did we have any games where we curved out? We've drawn Squee 1 game. I think it was the first game, right? Anything where we've, you know, put out a nice curve and attacked them on curve? No, right? For 7 games? So how much is it minus? It's -3. So it's -3 in the pump with that. I think we just take this for now. Should have bait blocked again. Mountain is a fucking sad joke. What's the... So it's -5 right now. Is this a scam? This is my ability to win the game going away right here. This is all I'm doing is preventing losing the game from doing this. Yeah. Didn't even work either because we just got a... He had one more blue. The blue card that we've known is in there, and he's smart enough to play around it. We're actually going to lose to this guy. We actually just lost to this guy. We had last game flood into that fucking block where just like his shit lined up so goddamn well, and we fucked that block up. And then this game is just like the total crapshoot, right? It's a screw, a color screw, an overall land screw, a color screw into untapped flood. Like, fuck me. I hate this game sometimes, like right this instant. Does it even matter? Does the bear do anything for us? We already used our wide effect. Like, neither of them get through the wall. We're dead in 2 turns here. Oh, it's so bad. There's so much riding on every single match, every single game of these matches. So this play here, like... I have 2 infusions that he knows about, 2 more lightning strikes. I've got the flyer that deals with this.
Subscriber arrives.
Like,
it fills you with determination.
So what would be a good draw for us here? Griffin would have been a good draw. Outrider would have been a good draw. Cavalier ×2 is fine. The Skyrider's fine. Either lightning strike. The Destroy Evil if he overpumps it, and 2 infusions. So there's 10 cards on the top of our deck that are all deal with this 2/2. We did not get there. Okay. And that's the difference between this match being plus this entire run being plus 1,000 gems versus minus 500 gems. What an unpleasant experience from game design. Just like, wow. Okay. Skill's invisible. Skill matters. It matters in small spots. Does it matter to the bottom line? Probably not, really. Best of 3 seems fun. It beats the fuck out of best of 1. It's not best of anything. It's magic that you're complaining against there. Which I agree 100%. That's just an unpleasant game. I don't know if we win with the not getting blown out 3-for-1 on the fucking apparition, but we're in much better shape than if we do. Do we get there in that game? I don't know. God. I mean, that was 16 lands with a 9/8 split for mana colors. We managed to color screw once and flood 3 out of 7 matches. 3 out of 7 games. Sorry, not matches. Color screw once, 3 floods, and one absolute screw that we never got past 2 lands, right? So that means of those, with the best mana base you're going to get in limited, with a 9/8 mana base for a low curve deck, 4 of our games were decided by lands from our perspective. Now the opponents maybe get some of those too, but you need everything to line up for these matches. Just so unreal. I can't actually decide if I'm enjoying this or not. I really don't know. I really don't know. We had 1 rare on that deck. We saw it 1 game. Yeah, so I really don't. I feel like Magic is particularly rough on that.